Hey, what's up, peeps? Spencer Smoot here, Unsolicited QA. Just doing another reaction to this stuff. And yeah, so I'm kind of just going through. I was gone for a few weeks, and I'm catching up with these on today. So yeah, here we go. Also, yeah, it's just some personal stuff that I had to kind of deal with. So yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how to do the long forms, and I'm open to suggestions too of how to figure out how to do like the hour long ones because it's good stuff, but it's just like probably take an hour or two to do, and it's just time, and then I don't know if people actually will want to see that stuff. Me commenting on it. Super cool stuff though. Super cool. Right now we're doing Inside Star Citizen, making your reputation. Super interested in this because, as we kind of talked about in the previous videos, progression is money, and then also reputation. Those are the two real only progression mechanics in the game and are planned in the game. Um, you know, yes, you can get better at skills like in person, like as a person, but um, it's still just like that. That's not necessarily the like progression that they're going for. I mean, they want people to get better, but it's yeah, and you invest more money into like we just did, like we looked at the gray cat tractor beam, right? Investing money into your profession and increasing your worth in it, I guess, or whatever. Super cool stuff. And now we're going to do reputation, which is the other progression side, and I'm interested in seeing what they say. So here we go.
This is without a doubt my favorite system that I've worked on at CIG. I am so excited to see it getting into the hands of players and into the hands of other developers.
We felt that because this is such a crucial part of our game, that our reputation system had to be much more evolved than that of a traditional MMO.
I love working on these systems that allow other systems to even happen.
This is where I feel like the game that we've been talking about from a reputation and from an immersiveness level can start to happen.
So what does reputation bring? Like it brings more content, right? Like more game stuff, special missions, all that stuff. Certain armor, um, stuff like that, but also just kind of like game, like the type of gameplay that you like to play, right? If you want to be a criminal and you gain, you gain rank in the criminal organizations, like you are badass, right? Like one of the coolest. I mean, it's part of the storyline, but like I used to play Star Wars: The Old Republic, and one of the coolest things is like becoming the Emperor's hand when you're the Sith warrior. And it's like, I mean, there's thousands of Emperor's hands, but whatever. But it's just super cool, like going through that process, right? Um, and it's a completely different system, but like having that feel, right, of being able to walk around and being known for what you have done, right? They're really trying to get that to be like into the game to make it feel more alive because like they're doing it with ships, right? Like they want you to like if you fly through an electrical storm, right, and you get like struck by lightning or whatever, you have a firefight or not a firefight, space fight, I don't know, whatever, a dogfight, and like you get hit, right? They want to show that damage. Additionally, like they're going to show it here, right? And also like uh, with your body too. If you die a lot, and you have scars and stuff, right? It's part of the making the game feel alive because it's just super important. Because right now it's just like okay, nothing means anything, but this is adding stuff that is meaningful. So super cool.
The reputation system that will essentially allow us to track values for a player's reputation with an entity. And when I say entity, that could be an NPC, an organization, heck, it could be a table. If you want, so long as it has a persistent ID with it, we can track a value against it.
They're alive, I think.
Not only can we track a value, we can track several values. Those values are in something that we call a scope. When we say scope, we're talking about two different things. There's affinity, which is this kind of measure of how much a entity likes you, and that's common across all these entities, NPCs, organizations, etc.
Hello.
A few different things affect affinity. It's going to be mostly your mission performance, and more specifically, actually, what you do during that mission. That's when affinity will really get big boosts. It is also worth noting that we can affect affinity through just your everyday action. For organizations, affinity is a little bit different in that it kind of represents the amalgamated opinion of that organization and its members towards you. It's going to control a lot of things like whether or not they want to attack you or help you, for instance. And then there's confidence/career. Confidence is exclusive to mission givers, and it kind of says how good they think you are at your job. Career is how an organization might be tracking that same value, how good you are at your job. The difference with an organization is that they can have several career scopes. So a security company like Crusader Security might have a bounty scope, but they also might have a defense scope or a jailer scope or any number of these career scopes that we want to track your different levels of career proficiency with different kinds of gameplay.
Super cool.
Within scopes, we have this concept of standings. These are the ranks that you move through from negative whatever to positive whatever, and we can tell when we assess you, either through the missions or the mission givers or NPCs or however they are looking at you, what standing you are at.
So like this is cool because it's adding just stuff, right? It's adding like what do you do, right? Or like how do you go about missions and like one of the things that pops in my head, like you're supposed to kind of sneak in somewhere and like you'll take something, but you go in and blast, right? Like being able to, the world kind of is reflective, or the representations, reputations that are affected by how you do stuff, and it's interesting in the quantum system, like the one that the one that kind of is creating the I call it the game, like the creation and like the engine of the economy, and mission giving and things like that, like having those things be affected, right? Like, you know, I can see that this is directly tied to that, right? So it's you know, it changes like the certain missions that you're trusted for, right? But are also, you know, created because there's a need for it versus kind of them just creating it because it just needs to be created, right? Like, and that's just super interesting. It's super cool.
One of the things that we are very excited to have is these reputations giving you things when you get to those higher standings. The idea is that this is giving you benefits and rewards for progressing through the game. It's a progression system at its heart. The other thing that I'm really excited about with this coming out is the concept of allowing for group building and community building with this, by allowing you to bring something unique to your group of friends table. You might...
That is also cool, right? Like, yeah, okay, I'll let him
have a reputation with a certain organization at a high level that your other friends don't, and you've maybe done a little bit of extra work to maintain that, get that up there, etc. And as a result, you're able to bring in something cool, like a mission that normally they wouldn't be able to do. Plus, everybody likes bragging rights. We all know that you're going to be putting up screenshots on the subreddit or whatever, saying, look at all these reputations I have at max, look at what I'm able to maintain, all that. We're darn excited about how that...
Yeah, and it's cool, like seeing this stuff, pay increase and stuff, blah, 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 but like, adding more stuff, right, in like missions or it's just cool to really think about. Actually, it's and it it definitely is showing more a progression system, which is really good, because it is, players do need goals, right, and sometimes it's hard for players to really like give their self goals, right. and it's good to see that they're doing it with this stuff, with the progression, and yeah, like I saw a permit back here. Like if I go back, where am I at? Like I saw like a permit, like having a whatever. So, but like having like a mining permit or something. Like you can't mine in the Stanton system unless you have, or like around Microtech unless you have a certain amount of reputation, right? Like, and then you bringing that to the table too, and you know you're either hired out or whatever to do it. So super cool.
We're darn excited about how that's going to play out potentially. So for this release, a lot of our focus is around missions and how that's going to be affecting things like your affinity and confidence. But going forward, you'll be having actions that affect your reputation of other kinds. So that's going to be things like a mission giver where you might push them, but it also could be like if you shoot at them, or if you shove one of their friends, or if you talk to them in the wrong way, if you choose a bad choice in a conversation tree. It could be any number of things. We even have talked about some fun stuff where, like, Konstantin Herson, for instance, is a bit of a snob. You walk in wearing a bad coat or, like, some weird clothes, he might think less of you. You can also key it off of things like when you happen to raid a ship that is controlled by maybe Crusader security. We could key it off of something like you go into the wrong area. I mean, you just walk into a club where the bouncer doesn't want you to be there. We could key it off of you having the wrong decal on your ship, or flying in a way that a person doesn't really think that you're flying in a cool way, essentially. It's very open-ended. One of the things that we're really looking forward to is giving flavor to organizations by essentially playing with what they like and don't like. So there might be an organization that really likes it when you go around PvPing and killing other players. There might be organizations that frown on that a little bit. There might be organizations that really, really like it when you do piracy or smuggling or illegal acts, and there might also be some that aren't so okay with that. And that feel is going to allow us to bring a lot of the lore that up until now has existed on a website into the game so that you guys can actually experience it and get to know these people in the universe.
Super cool. Super cool.
And all that brings me to the topic of drift. Drift is the concept that over time your reputation might move up or down based on the mission giver organization, essentially moving towards neutral with you. Now, before you all get your torches and pitchforks out, the concept here isn't to enforce a horrifying grind or anything like that. We do want to reward you for gameplay that you already want to do on your own. But we do want to make sure also that these very high ends of reputation are things that take effort to get to and maintain. And by doing that, we let people sort of be unique and interesting by saying, I want to make sure that I keep that one and that one at max, and put in that effort, and keep people interested in the game in a long-term sense, giving them goals that they can keep on setting out.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, you know, how big of a change fundamentally is this? That this is a massive change for not.
Yeah, because like, sorry, I cut him off, but it is like there's no reason to play. Like, okay, there's no reason to play Star Citizen. Not in the like troll way, but like in the as the game is right now, right? You play it and you gain money, right? But the money doesn't mean anything. Because, like, yes, you can buy cool ships and all that stuff now, but, like, eventually everything's going to hit reset, right? You know, and, like, there's no reason to stay, like, on a certain path. Like, you can say, oh, I want to be, this week I want to be a criminal, and I'm going to go around and shoot everybody. And then next week it's like, oh, I want to be like a Care Bear, right? Like it's part of the, you can kind of do whatever, right? And nothing really stays in the game. And this is what, like, this seems to be the focus right now of Star Citizen, because I think they have the base down. I think they have the base loop of like flying your ship down. Now they're just adding more stuff, right? It's super cool because like the technology is mostly, I would say mostly here. Like it's I would say mostly here. Yeah, it's now we're gonna see more progression towards what a game like looks like, right? Because like I said, now there's no real reason to play it. You're playing it and it's like, okay, cool, it's fun, it looks good, like you're experiencing some stuff. But now you get a reputation and you can go and see, what new things and like this reputation thing happened. Like, and then like at the end goal of the game, right? You say, I want to be this type of character in the game, and you can be that type of character, right? And have the reputation about that character. So it's just super cool. It's super cool.
Just what it means for the game now, but where the game is going.
Like all things, we'll be putting it out, we'll be watching the feedback, we'll be seeing what the numbers say. We've got analytics all over the place, watching what you guys are doing to see if we need to tweak and tune numbers. It's going to be an ongoing effort, especially when we get to the concept of going from alpha to out of alpha. Those numbers are going to continue to shift.
Yeah.
With that in mind, the ability for players to bring something unique to their groups, that excites me a lot. I love in MMOs the systems that make players want to play with each other. That's what makes them better than other games, is that community. And bringing that to Star Citizen to me is one of the most important things that we could do. Making sure that it builds a strong community, that's what's going to bring people back to Star Citizen over and over and over.
It's super cool because it's like, because my general thing was like, oh, everybody can do like whatever, right? Like everybody can do anything that they want to do. It's just how much money they have. The reputation is showing that that's not possible, right? You can have $1,000 million, $1,000 million, 3 years old, whatever. Anyway, you can have a whole bunch of money, and you can just go, but you can't, like, if you don't have the reputation of like, a certain group or a certain corporation, then you can't do that mission, right? Or you might not be able to be or mine in a certain place or whatever, right? So it's super cool. And like it's going to be interesting because like in the beginning they said they can put it on anything, right? So it's going to be interesting that maybe you can actually have reputation with other player corporations, right? Or corporations, EVE player guilds or clans or whatever they're called in Star Citizen. So that's going to be interesting to see. And being able to like find a reputation that is high in value, or like for the area of which you want to go towards, or the type of character you want to be, and then also having to group up, like he's saying, having to group up because you bring something unique to the table that some other general labor doesn't bring, right? So it's super cool to see that they not just come in at the lowest level of the reputation, but they're actually making it so that it's really a huge part of the progression system of it, because it has to be additionally with the money thing. So super cool. Excited.
The reputation.
And so that's gonna be part one. Super cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I can't wait to kind of get into it and see, right? Like I like games that I can change the world around me, right? And Star Citizen not necessarily is going to be that, but like having the reputation, having certain things, it makes it so it's cool. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes it so it's like it's part of the journey, I guess. And that didn't make any sense, but anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day, and let me know what you guys think and all that stuff. There's gonna be part 2 up. It should be up by now if you're watching this. So, it should be somewhere, probably description below, or also in a card somewhere. So, cool. Thanks, and talk to you later.